Some of you might have rules that you know about adding or subtracting integers, like positives and negatives. But this one we're going to start, let's think about it a different way if you can, right? This is a story. So, in a far off place, there are these amazing chefs. They make the most delicious food that you've ever tasted. But they mix all their food in a cauldron. They don't use a stove like us. And therefore, that makes their process and their way of cooking really delicate and precise. So when they are mixing, they use these hot and cold cubes. They use these cold cubes, they're like ice cubes, but they're magic, so they never melt. They also use hot cubes, which are like, does anyone know what this is? Barbecue with it, carne asada? What's it called? Charcoal, like a charcoal briquette. And that thing gets real hot, right? Cold. But these magic ones, they never cool down. So they're working with these things to keep the temperature just right so they can make their very special food. Now, if the number of cold cubes that are in that pot are the exact same number as the hot cubes, the temperature is 0. Okay? It's at 0. They balance out, so it measures 0 on the thermometer. What do you think happens then when you put in a hot cube? What happens to the temperature?
Temperature rises.
Temperature rises. Okay, cool. Then how about when you take that hot cube out?
It's equal again.
It's equal again. Okay, so what was the temperature?
0.
0. Perfect. Okay. Now how about if you put in a cold cube? What happens to the temperature? Gets colder. Cool. How about when you take it out?
It goes back to 0.
Goes back to 0. Okay. All right. These magic cubes aren't that interesting. All right. So the chefs, when they're writing their recipes, when you write a recipe, you gotta put, a cup of flour. Cool. It just says words. It doesn't show you a picture of flour. So they need to use symbols to write that they're adding hot cubes, removing cold cubes, whatever they're doing. They're going to use positive and negative numbers. So let's suppose you got a pot, okay, it says 0 degrees, and you throw in 4 hot cubes, and then you throw in 10 cold cubes, okay? So let's take a look at what would happen if you do that. What's the temperature going to do? And when you put in 4 of the hot, and we put in 10 cold, what's 4 hot and 4 cold? It's going to make what? Up and then down. So where are we at?
0.
0, okay. So that, no temperature change, right? They heat it up real quick and then they cool it down. But now we've got these 6 cold cubes. So what's going to happen to the temperature then? Left over. Go down by how much?
-6.
By 6. Okay, went down by 6. All right. So to represent this, to write that instruction in their recipe, they're going to say, we have these 4 hot cubes, and then we added 10 cold cubes, and that's going to equal a temperature change of -6, like you said, went down 6 degrees. Okay. So now we've got another cauldron. Okay, this one's they've been working on all day. It's got a bunch of cubes in it, but the temperature is at 0 right now. They've got a bunch of hot and a bunch of cold, but the temperature is 0. So they're going to add 3 hot. And what happens when you add 3 hot? By how much?
3.
By 3, okay. And then, so you said that. Now we're going to remove 2 of those cold cubes that are already in there. Okay, they take out 2 cold. What happens to the temperature when you take out cold?
It's getting warmer.
It's warmer by how much?
2.
By 2? Okay, warmer by 2. All right, we went up by 3, and then we went up by 2 more. How much did we go up?
5 degrees.
5 degrees? Okay, so when they're going to write it, they're going to put it this way in their recipe. They're going to say 3 hot went in, we removed 2 cold, and then that's going to give a temperature change of 5. Now sometimes you'll see it written like this, just so you can separate the type of cold and then the removal. Got it? So by looking at this though, what tells you that you took cubes out? On that, in this recipe, what tells you that cubes were taken out somewhere?
-2.
The -2. Okay, so this negative or this negative? Which one?
The one right next to 2.
That one? Okay, so that says take it out. But what does this mean then?
And subtract.
Okay, well, but with the cubes. Does it mean, does this tell you that they were removed, that they were added, that they were hot, cold?
Because the two cold ones are removed.
Okay, so how do you know that they're cold?
Because it's blue.
Because it's blue. Awesome. Let's just imagine that we're writing it with a pencil. Let's say they're writing with a paper, okay? If this was not blue, what on there is going to tell you that they're cold?
The negative.
This negative or this negative?
That right there.
This one right here, because it's right next to it? Okay, so if that tells us that that's cold, how do we know we removed those cubes?
Subtraction sign.
The subtraction sign. Okay, so the subtraction sign tells us that we remove, and like you said, we know those are cold because they're blue, or because they have this little negative one, right? Okay, so we know we removed cold because of those two different symbols. All right. So if the chef wrote this thing, this is in his recipe. What did the chef do? What themes happen? Think about it. This and then this.
It was able with hot cubes.
Okay. Where do you take away hot cubes? Go.
6.
Oh, he took away 6 hot. All right. Removed 6 hot. You're real good at the remove. What are these things?
5 cold.
5 cold. So started by doing what? What do you do with those cold?
You threw the 5 cold in, and then
Threw 5 cold in, then
took out this.
took out the 6 hot cubes. Okay. So put in 5 cold. What happens to the temperature when you put in 5 cold?
It decreases.
It goes down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from our 0. Got it. And then took out 6 hot cubes. So the temperature went
Down more.
down more, huh? So throw it. Let me borrow a finger. Put one up. Okay, so here's our 6 cold, right? Which made it go down 6 more, and then we have the 5. So 5 and 6, it went down by how much? 11. 11. Yeah, sorry, I gotta use my fingers for most of it, but okay. So it went down by 11. Oh, and that's what I said. Cool. All right. So on your paper, can you do set A? So that's a ruler. Most rulers, most of them come in centimeters and inches. And if you look at it, those centimeters go from to almost 30, maybe a little more than 30. Okay, they're not very precise on the centimeters, but they're always almost 12 inches. So about 30 centimeters is the same as 12 inches. How about this? So if we have 10 centimeters, about, that equals about how many inches? About 4 inches? Okay. What measurement is this on those centimeters? Right here? About 6 centimeters? Okay, 6 centimeters. Didn't know what was coming up. All right. How about that one?
7.5.
What do you guys say?
7.5.
7.5? Okay. Just seeing it from both sides of the room. Okay, so we can say 7.5%. If we're measuring to like the nearest half centimeter, so either like half, 1, 1/2, 2, 2/2, 3, 3.5. What's that about? What's that about, Gabriel? About how many centimeters?
3.5.
If we're just going to a half, so it's either 3 or 3.5.
3.
3? Okay, 3. All right. How about this one, Maria? 5.5? Yeah, about there. Okay. Go ahead, Royce.
8.
8, okay. 8 centimeters. All right. So we're going to use these rulers and those measurements to the half centimeter to measure our hands. We're going to see if we can be like, all right, most high schoolers have a hand that's this wide. So, just a sec. Let's go ahead and measure. If you can all write down all of your different sizes. So, you guys will you'll measure each of your hands, but tell everyone in your group what the measurement of your hand is. So we'll put Gabriel's is, and we'll put 20 centimeters, whatever, okay? So you're gonna go wide like this, cross those centimeters, start at the 0, and then go all the way as far as you can go, okay? So thumb to pinky. Thumb to the end of the pinky, okay? So go ahead and measure yours, and then everyone will put Gabriel. You guys measure, and you can start with Maribel or Maria or Abel, whatever. I'm trying to measure. Okay, so let's measure right down on that one.
So everybody measures.
Yeah, on that.
What is that?
In the centimeters?
In the centimeters, yeah. To the half centimeter. Are we including nails?
There
Do
you
you guys
go.
want to include nails?
No.
Because that's an extra
Okay,
4
pass it
cents,
around so you guys can all get your.
Alright, if you need help,
Ask your partner.
what'd you go get? 16 or 16 and a half?
You wanted to hold it down
Okay,
for
16
you.
centimeters. Okay, so we love Maria.
And then you're gonna wanna communicate that to the rest of your group on what your measure is. Because you guys are gonna part.
Yeah, you can just put it underneath. I'm gonna save all this information for next week. We'll do some more info with it. From?
Did you measure yours?
Nah.
Not yet.
Got my dad.
Where was
Your
yours?
mom, so actually
Yeah, did.
about 20.
20? Okay, so we're gonna put Royce, 20.
So you guys wanna write down Maria, 16 centimeters.
That's okay. You're not being graded on the size of your hand. You're okay.
19
So-
Everybody in
centimeters.
my family has big old hands, giant hands.
So.
And you're just
thumb
putting one
to
of the
pinky is
small-
what you wanna do.
It's interesting.
What'd you get?
And then there you go.
20. 20 centimeters.
To where the thumb starts and then where your pinky ends. Like this.
Okay, put their
Can I
name.
spell your name?
Yeah, put their name. So we got Gabriel. You're gonna put it.
There you go.
Maribel. I know it's not Maria.
Oh, here we are.
I'm gonna put them up here so I have them for next week.
Good. Okay, so just put it on the table.
Gabriel, you got 20?
20.
Okay. Okay. And next one.
I don't know if he wants to use pads or not.
Royce, what's yours?
20.
20? Okay. Enrique? 18. Okay. Sammy, S-A-M-I?
Yeah,
All right, and yours?
it was like 14 to 15 or something.
14, 14 and a half, 15?
Yeah, it was like 15 and a half.
15 and a half, okay. 15 and a half. I'm gonna put it like that because you said half, not 25. We go.
19.
19. Maria? And Maribel?
20.
All right. Okay. That's all those ones for the class. Way of representing data. Like when you just have one thing. What are we measuring here? There's one thing we're measuring. What is it?
Hands.
Hand span, right? The span of your hand. Okay. If we were measuring different things, also your foot, then it'd be different. But if we're measuring one thing, we can put it on either what's called a dot plot or a line plot. So for each one of you, there will be one dot. Each one of you are going to get one dot, and it will go where that number represents. Okay. So we could say right here, dot plot shows the heights of plants in a science experiment. Okay. Heights, the heights, data. All right. How many plants were 14 and a half centimeters tall? 14. 9? 3. Did you say a number, Royce?
Said 9.
9? Okay. What do you think, April? Okay, just seeing from different sides of the room. All right. So where's the 14 and a half? Can you see it, April?
Yeah.
Can you point to it up here?
You know?
Oh, hold it down there.
Yeah, can you go point to the 14 and a half?
Oh, man.
Right here.
It's a 1 over.
Oh, I mean, 14 has right here.
Oh, okay, 14 and a half. Okay. So how many?
3.
3. Okay, so 3. Okay. 3 plants are 14 and a half centimeters tall. So how tall is the shortest plant that's on here?
13
and a half.
14, 13 and a half, and 14.
13 and a half and 14?
I mean, 14. Yeah, 14.
The shortest plant was 14 taller or shorter than 13 and a half?
Oh, I mean, 13 and 3/4.
3/4. That's the smallest?
Over there. 14.
Oh, 14 and 3/4. This
Yeah.
one. That's the shortest plant?
Yeah, and so is 13 and a half.
Ah, this is the plants. This is each plant. That means one plant. So that means one plant. This is 3 plants. So that means shortest number, right? The smallest number of plants. And this, they both have only one plant that's that tall. So the smallest plant, how tall is it? Is Maria, how tall is the shortest plant?
13 and
Okay, 13 and a half. So what kind of plant is that? What kind of plant is that? Is it the shortest?
No,
It's the what?
that's the tallest.
This is the tallest, huh? Okay, good. All right, so 13 and a half is our shortest. And the tallest, once again, April? How tall?
14 3/4.
14 and 3/4. There you go, thank you. All I see you were just a question ahead. So, how much taller is that tallest one than the shortest one?
10 centimeters. Wait,
10?
To 10, sorry, 10 units.
10 units.
Wait, no, 10, and, no, wait, yeah, 10. Wait, 1 and a quarter.
Let's see, how much is each one of these bars? From 1/2 to from 13 and a half to 13 3/4. How far do you go? There's 1/4. So here's another fourth, right?
A quarter.
So how many fourths is this? Let's see, let's count.
That's 1/4.
You guys count for me, please. Ready?
2, 3, 4,
5. 5 fourths, right? So what's 4/4 though? How much does that equal?
There's 1.
You have 4 out of 4, that's 1, plus another
So it's 1 and wait, a fourth.
1 and like a fourth? Yeah, I think so. 1 and a fourth. Okay? If we did it mathematically, wrote it out, we'd say, 14 and 3/4 hot cubes, and then remove 13 and a half hot cubes, right? Okay. So we're at 1 1/4 centimeters. That's what's called the range. So our minimum, you guys said, was 13 and a half. So the minimum, when they're asking about information, I'll say the minimum, 13 and a half. Maximum, 14 and 3/4. And then the range, the 1 1/4 centimeters. So we don't really care that much about plants because we're not measuring plants. What are we measuring? Hand span. Okay, our hand spans. So we were in a group, I was in a classroom, and we measured some hand spans of these students. How many students did we measure?
14.
14.
Okay, I got 7s and 14s and
14.
Okay, 14? Okay. Maribel? You see 14 of anything up there? How many of these guys are there? Count? 10? 27. 14. Okay, so those dots are 14 students. All right. So we put dots for each one of those. What's the minimum on here?
8.5.
8.5. 8.5?
I mean, 18 and a half.
That'd be a really small hand. Huh?
My bad.
They're second graders. Okay. So the minimum, 18 and a half. All right. How about the maximum? The biggest hand that we had there? 23 and a half. Okay, 23 and a half, huh? There's a little extra. All right. So what's the range? From 18 and a half to 23 and a half. 20 and a half. So this is a half, right? So 1/2. If we add another half to a half, what's half plus half? You have half an apple plus another half an apple. You have a whole apple. Okay, so every two of them is a 1, huh? So let's see. There's 1, and then every two of them, 2.
Three.
All right, ready? 1,
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
5. Okay, so it went 5 centimeters between the smallest one and the biggest one.
Yeah.
All right, that's a pretty big difference. Okay, where would your dot be placed? So, put your dot in place. Enrique, can you put your dot up there, please?
We just pass it down?
Yeah. You'd probably say most high school students are, how wide is their hand? Most of them?
20 centimeters.
20, it's about 20, huh? All right. Did that change our minimum and maximum? Or did it change our maximum? No. No, maximum is still 13 and a half, huh? Did it change our minimum?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Way down here. So if it was 15 and a half, did it change our range? How far will we go from the smallest to the biggest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of like 9.5.
Let's see, went back from 18, 17 and a half is 1, 16 and a half is 2, 15 and a half is 3. So it went from, what was that, 5 before to 8? It's the range now. Okay, so we are going to use this information further. We'll use it when we come back next week. I'm going to have you continue on an assignment. You have a few minutes before we're done with math time. So with your regular teacher, you can either work on this or take it home and finish it. Okay? We'll just bring it back next week. Okay?